Veteran media executive Edgar Bronfman Jr. submitted a bid to acquire National Amusements. That's the company that holds a controlling stake in Paramount Global. That bid was raised yesterday, and now there's lots of speculation about what's going to happen. Joining us right now is Rich Greenfield. He's LightShed Partners, of LightShed, the co-founder there. Rich, I want to go back to something you said last Friday and then update your thoughts today. Last Friday, you wrote a note that said, why would anyone in their right mind battle one of the richest families in the world to acquire Paramount? Let's ignore its $400 million breakup fee to Skydance. Let's ignore the fact that most investors believe Skydance is overpaying for Paramount, blah, blah, blah. You say, by the way, the Ellison family could easily sweeten their offer and win anyway. Yesterday, you said you think Edgar Bronfman Jr.'s bid is now in pole position. You've changed your mind completely. Why is that?
We haven't changed our mind completely. We are speculating whether or not something meaningful has changed. And it's because the investor group, there were details leaked out to the media of who's in the investor group backing Bronfman. And there's at least one party that has ties, direct ties, to the Redstone family. And we just find it bizarre, or I don't believe in coincidences, Becky. And so it's a little strange to go, why would Bronfman, you read what I wrote on Friday. Why would Bronfman be doing this? Why would he be gathering the investor group that he did with some of the names that are in that investor group? Why do all that if you have literally no shot at winning and the Redstones don't want this to occur? So something just feels very strange. And we wonder, originally Edgar's bid had his current bid, the Bronfman bid today, does not have a tender for Paramount B shareholders. That's what all the public investors watching this own right now, versus 50% tender offer from the Ellison bid. However, based on conversations that we've had in the last 24 hours, it sounds like Bronfman's trying to tender for at least 25 or 30%. So they're going to say, we're going to tender for less, but we're not going to dilute you with a big asset, another studio we're pushing into this combined company. And they're going to basically go to the special committee and say, which is better? And it's going to be hard to know how the special committee assesses those two. Now, I certainly come back to the fact, how could you vote against Ellison with those deep pockets? That seems like a long-term strategic mistake. But we can't foot. Why is Bronfman bidding? Like, that's the missing link here, Becky. Why would you bid if you definitely can't win? That's a bizarre behavior.
So who's the investor that has these close ties to the Redstone family?
If you look across that investor list, there is certainly at least one investor that I think you'll be fairly obvious to folks that when you see it, you'll go, why would that person be included?
Ooh, tell me. I don't have the list in front of me.
I'm going to leave it vague for now, but there is definitely a person in that group that stands out and gives me pause. And so you saw our notable change in opinion. I think you have to, everyone watching this should be thinking twice over what happens next. Now, if I were sitting there, I don't think this is a question. If you think about what's happening to media, you, Andrew, Joe, Becky, we've all talked about the challenges facing media over the next decade. Having deep pockets and having the ability to invest aggressively, not just in programming, but marketing and tech, it's going to be really important for the future to have all of that capital and firepower. That's what you should want. And what's strange here is that we really thought that Redstone wanted to leave this to a deep-pocketed family. Bronfman's wealthy, but not on an Ellison scale wealthy. And he's packaged together 20-plus people in an investor group. The Ellison bid is basically the Ellison fortune and Redbird Capital, and that's about it. So it's a very simple, basically the family is taking control of this asset. Very, very different here. And it's really hard to understand. Maybe relations between Redstone and Ellison or Redstone and Skydance fell apart, and maybe that's why we're at this juncture. But, look, there is a chance all of this is just to get Skydance and Ellison to raise their bid or provide legal cover. This could all be a smokescreen just to make it easier on the existing bid. It's just weird if that's, if Edgar's being played here.
It's hard to imagine Edgar going along with that. Maybe,
I know. That's the thing, Becky. The fact pattern. If you look at all the facts here, It doesn't make sense.
Very quickly,
waste your
Joe's got a
time?
question too, but very quickly, which bid that you've seen so far, and by the way, my understanding is that the bid could be sweetened from here. So this is opening salvos on a new thing if they can get them to extend if they get the executive committee to extend the period that you're going to be looking at these things. You could see higher bids from there. Which situation benefits Class B shareholders the most?
I mean, you'd have to say if you're tendering for 50% of the shares at 15, a B shareholder is going to want the Ellison bid. I don't think there's any question. If people really believe that a second offer with a far smaller tender, even if less dilution and maybe even a better long-term strategy, my guess is investors are going to sell first and not wait to see whether the other strategy works out better longer term. Investors are going to want the larger tender, at least in the short term. And so if you're a B shareholder, you would want the Ellison bid today just because you want that 50% sale at 15 with the stock trading at 11.
So, Rich, the demise of linear TV, let's say you hired the geniuses of content production to come up with the greatest slate of shows you possibly could for Thursday night. Must-see TV. I don't want to pick on NBC. Pick anyone who still does linear TV. Is there any way even the greatest content in the world is going to be on at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, tune in at 9:30 for Magnum PI? Is there any way that that's going to be something we're doing in 5 years? Or do we have to tear up the entire playbook and just do streaming?
I mean, Joe, I think your parent company sort of illustrates what's happening. You're shifting from entertainment content to sports. And when you think about what's happening in linear TV, especially broadcast TV, NBC is telling you straight up, the future is sports. They're not even trying to compete.
Warner Brothers
right? They bought the
do?
NBA.
What is Warner Brothers worth now? I mean, those cable entities, I would have loved to have gotten those properties if I were Zaslav. Now I don't know. Now it seems like they were unloaded.
Look, I like the fact that they've hired Channing or expanded Channing Dungey's responsibilities. She's now going to turn cable networks more into studios. And maybe that's the future of cable networks, is that they become more studio production entities for third parties like Netflix and Amazon. The linear TV business, Joe, is not fixable. I don't think there's anybody who can put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't get people to watch at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. That whole concept outside of sports is dead and is not coming back.